Alright, and welcome back to another Wild Rift video. We're playing some Sona support. And everyone's our area, Gathering Storm, Conditioning, and Mana Flow Band. Of course, we take Flash and Exhaust. And we're going to be doing primarily more of a utility build. You can kind of do different builds. You can do a build where you do more damage, but you provide less utility to your team, so it just kind of really depends on your playstyle, and a lot of times it does also depend on your teammates, if they group up a lot versus not grouping up, and so sometimes you'll change your build based off that. And if you do go some type of like a tier build, you'll want to get that early. Sometimes whether you start your tier immediately or get it with your first base is just kind of up to you. And it's Sona Jinx versus Seraphine and MF. So it could potentially be somewhat of a rough lane. But of course, since I pretty much main Seraphine, I kind of know what her abilities are. And they can be quite annoying at times. And then MF, you gotta just be careful of that ability right there. Of course, with Seraphine's ability, you just gotta be careful because if you're already slowed or affected by some type of a stun or slow, her abilities will root you in place. And typically with Sona, I take my first and then followed by my second ability. But if you so desire, you can take your second ability first to provide a little bit more healing to your ally. Again, like I said, it's going to be a little bit rough, especially with that MF Seraphine combo. And we might get a tier. It looks like we might be some mana issue, so we'll just start stacking that up. And we'll be building not a mana moon, but the staff. That knife is so annoying. Like, the Seraphine's not going to be too difficult to deal with, but that MF, it's going to be difficult. So like with Seraphine, one of the good things about her is if you're laning against her, she will essentially root herself into place when she does her third ability. So you kind of know it's coming, but with MF it's kind of a little bit more difficult to know when she's using that, whatever that ability is. I forget what it's called. Bullets from the sky, maybe? I don't know. And a lot of times with like wards, I'll sometime fairly early. Oh, I walked right into that. Saw it coming a mile away, but there wasn't much I could do. Because going back, I just run into those two, and then going forward, I just hit that Ramus ult. Now the good thing is with Sona, you will stack up her tier pretty quickly. To see is out of and let's see, I lost my train of thought. So before I was talking about the wards or the trinkets, whatever you want to call them. I'll usually leave it as the yellow trinket first, and usually place one, sometimes two wards, and then fairly quickly as people get towards level 5 where they can start using the ult, that's when I'll switch it out to a red trinket or a sweeper is what it's sometimes called. Get out of there. He really needs to be careful, especially when they're fighting up near the enemy turret. The Seraphine Charm can bring you into turret range. So at this point you can either get your staff or you can get boots, just depending on what your philosophy is. Some people might not go for the staff right away if your tier is not stacked up, because you won't get the full effect of the upgraded item. But a lot of times I might get it, especially if you're on Sona and you know you're going to be stacked up really quickly, and you'll be able to upgrade the item in short order, because you just are always using her abilities. Now, if you're in a champion where you kind of do a combination of auto and skill shots, or you have just one skill shot that might use mana, you might not want to upgrade it so quickly. You might want to go for something else. Of course, with Sona, pretty much as with Seraphine, you almost always go cooldown boots, just so you can spam your abilities. And of course, that's one of the reasons why I would recommend Mana Flow Band in Sona, just so that you can get that extra mana and help spam your abilities. Now in this game, you might, just because they have a Seraphine and MF, might be a little bit better going Merc Treads, but it's just kind of if you think you can dodge their abilities a lot. Which sometimes I'm not too great at doing that. Since I was right here, I just didn't pay attention when I was here, I just decided to help him with the dragon. So like I said, in about probably 90% of games, you'll go cooldown boots. And then the other case, I would probably do Merc Treads, but I wouldn't do anything else than those two types of boots. I can't think of a scenario where you want much of any other type of boot. But just because they have that combo CC with MF and Seraphine, that's the reason why I'm going Merc Treads in this game. Can help out this Pantheon. Got a nice stun, but I doubt we'll be able to do much with it. Nice Jinx ult. I don't think we actually got him. And now that we've got a tier, we have much less mana problems, and that combined with the Manifold Band, we'll have very little problems with mana. Almost in range for her passive, there's Cassiding. You might. Ooh, got him. Died, but worth it. Why is it worth it? People ask. Because I said it's worth it. That's why. Generally, I go Locket on her as her enchantment. Um, I guess the other thing which you could use is Stasis Enchant. Uh, Sometimes you might. I can see a theoretical position to use Rocket Belt, but that would be very rare. Um, Stasis would also be fairly rare, just because there's not a lot of good situations where you could still live even if you used it. And so I think using Locket or what do you call it? It's one other thing that you might consider, although I don't use it all that often. Redemption. And how about the Pantheon here a little bit? But I think the Locket is probably one of the better things to use with her. Alright, that's a nice little stun. Alright, and we got the rareness. And this Herald should be ours. But Redemption would not be a bad item. One of the good things about Redemption is even if you die, you can actually still use it after you're dead. Whereas Locket Enchantment, I don't think you can. At least I don't think so. I've never tried it, but I don't think so. Oh, seems like that cast unleashed the blue for a jungler. Oh. How about my friends here? Again, you can see how much I've been spending my abilities and still have a decent amount of mana left. I'm getting a little bit low, but trying to help this Corky here. We really just need to leave. Yeah, we actually accomplished a decent amount, but if we're not careful, we'll just overstay. And what items you want to get first, whether you want to go for a staff or the Ardent Censer or the Staff of Floating Waters, is really entirely up to you. And kind of what your playstyle is, what you like, but I generally probably recommend doing the tier item first so you can get that stacking and then build other things. Again, that's I always love junglers who go for objectives, who care about objectives. And a lot of times it's pretty much the only thing I really ask of my jungler is just to, play for objectives. I don't care if they gank or not. But if we lose all our objectives, it's going to be very difficult to win. Not that you can't. A lot of times, even if you're behind on objectives, you usually win if you can essentially kill them all right after they take the objective, and then turn that to your advantage and capitalize on it. Zed. And I'm going to be building a death cap next just because I want my abilities to hit with a little bit more impact. But it would be wrong to continue building other items because we're especially so far ahead. I would almost say if we were kind of evenish to a little bit behind, I'd continue building more utility items than just the death cap. Just because it takes a while to build a death cap. Don't know why no one's going top. Oh wait, there's Jinx. And so we'll just help push out this wave. I assume the Jinx is wanting to hook up and push the bot lane. But I'm just going to go to the Pant because we've been doing really well with the jungler. Looks like Jinx got this. I root him. Alright, we got the tower. At the very least, we got the tower. Yeah, just trying to do all I can to help out the Pant. Giving him heals and speed ups. Go get a large rod. Looks like we've got towers, mid, and bot, so we'll have some decent prio. And so we can either go for Baron and then win, or push top. Some extra pressure, but unless we just throw, it should be a win. Now you can still lose, even if you're this far ahead. If you, oh, there we go. Anyways, like I said, you can still lose if you're not careful, especially if you overstay in the fountain too long. But we won that one, so hopefully you learned a little bit of something. May or may not try Sona. She's absolutely broken if you know how to play her and have a team that is willing to play around her. Otherwise, if you're on your own, you're just going to be very weak. She improves kind of like Seraphine when she's around other players. Anyways, thank you very much for watching.